2021 has been an interesting year for us. Whether it's the pandemic or the growth of us, it's been quite an interesting year. And this year, we learned a lot on our journey for coffee. So I wanted to share with you my top 5 favorite coffee things that I worked with this year. So this is gonna be the last video we upload for 2021. I wanna take the opportunity to thank everybody for all the support and wish everybody a happy holidays and a happy new year's. In the new year, we're gonna have a lot of new exciting content, so stay tuned for that. If you guys are new here, my name is Vincent and I'm the head roaster for Tails Coffee. And if you love educational and experimental videos, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can get the latest updates on my newest technique. So over the year, I got to play around with a lot of new techniques and a lot of new gear. And so I wanted to share with you guys my favorite 5 items that I actually worked with this year. Let's get right into it. And starting at number 5, it's actually not even a gear, it's these Origami Cups. In the videos, I normally use the larger ones, but these are the smaller ones. I just started bringing them in and I started using them and I love them. They're the 200 milliliter ones and they're just enough for a smaller cup, but it's a great size. I brew normally 300 gram batches anyways, and then I pour as much as I can into here, and then I finish the rest, as I go through it. But these are just little, they're small, they fit in my hands nicely, they feel a little bit better to drink from, in my opinion at least. Sometimes the larger ones are a little bit too clunky, but this is my favorite ones. I actually use these every single day. Coming in at number 4 might be a surprise for you guys because I've never featured it on any of my videos, and it is the Onesie Presto Q2 hand grinder. Now this is actually surprisingly really great hand grinder. It's really easy to use, it's super portable, and it does everything that you need for all your manual brews. So your pour overs, your AeroPress, and your French press. It's not that great for the espresso, but it is still a great hand grinder. So if you guys want me to do a full review on it, please let me know in the comments below and I'll be looking out for that. Yeah, so that's my number 4. So coming in at number 3 is a kettle, and it's actually my favorite kettle that I worked with this year. Now, in all of my videos, or well, most of my videos, you might see me using the Bonavita larger kettle, and that's because I work from a shop. In my shop, I use it, and it's just easy for videos because I can always just retain a temperature. But the kettle I'm gonna show you is actually the Hario Buono 700 milliliter. Now this one is not electric, so I don't get to hold a certain temperature, whereas the Bonavita I do. So when I'm preparing for my videos or everything, I always want to have the perfect water temperature. This one doesn't allow me to do it, but this is still my favorite dripper just because I think the way it pours is the softest and most gentle. It is also just the right amount. I always fill it a little bit to like closer to the top line right here, or this little curvature, the first curvature, and that's gonna let me preheat and then brew all the coffee just perfectly. So this is my favorite kettle that I worked with this year. So coming in at number 2 is actually one of my favorite drippers, and it is the Origami, the small one, okay? Now this year they actually released a plastic base, so this is really important. I highly recommend the plastic one over the wood one. It is just much more stable and much more functioning. But look at these drippers. They come in all sorts of colors. I'm already running out of colors too, guys. Like I've already sold so many colors. I'm sold out on many of them, but they are just beautiful. And having a larger little hole at the bottom allows me to have a slightly faster flow rate, being a little bit smaller than the 02s, but larger than the 01s. You can have a close pour, but have just enough volume to finish my brew. Sometimes the 01 is a little bit too small for me. So this is literally the perfect size and the perfect shape. Now with having these larger grooves, it allows more airflow so the coffees finish brewing faster. Now you guys might know, I actually think brewing faster is very important. It's just the way I like my coffee, it's a preference thing. But I get strong enough extractions, and I just love the flavors from the Origami dripper. Now before we get into number 1, I actually have an honorable mention that I wanted to share with everybody. And it's actually a coffee that I roasted, but it's more about the design than the roast itself. Now, I really liked the way I had designed my Midnight Madness. It just has a really kind of cool design to the back, especially the messaging, the way I looked into it. the way I see Tales Coffee is we always want to share a story with all of our coffees. The Midnight Madness has this kind of creativity and kind of craziness to it, an insanity level to it, and it reflects on the bags itself. Now I wanted to become more approachable by having designs that kind of reflect the flavors of the coffee, and by showing this you can kind of tell that the coffee itself has high ups and has high downs. But at the back, you'll see that we say, we're looking to find the calm and the chaos. So in the middle of the coffee, you're gonna find this nice and gentle moment, even though it has the highs and the lows to it. And this is how we want to connect with our consumers, and it's through the way we design and through the way we just share our story with everybody. Coming in at number 1, it shouldn't surprise you guys that it is the Hario Switch. Now, this was actually a pretty tough choice between this and the Origami Dripper. I only picked this one just because the functionality of this switch is so unique that I've actually made 3 or 4 videos this year alone on it. And having this switch allows us to control a lot of variables that some of us might not be able to. It's easier for newer people who are brewing coffees to play around with, get used to their pouring techniques, but it's also great for advanced people like myself who are able to utilize the switch to brew an even better cup of coffee. So the Hario Switch was my number 1 favorite item that I worked with this year. So that closes off my top 5 items I used this year. Now, in the comments below, let me know what were your favorite 5 items that you worked with this year. I'd love to know what you guys kind of had fun playing around with. And once again, I just wanted to wish everybody a happy holidays, and I'll catch you guys in the new year.